My name is Rian Trotter, and I am sitting in here on WCEG, the People's Choice. And I wanted to take a moment here to just share a little bit about myself, share a little bit about my platform and what I'm running for. So, first and foremost, my name is Rian Trotter. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a Grady baby. I lived in Southwest Atlanta off of Camilton Road. We moved from there to College Park, Georgia, off of Old National, and then ultimately ended up in Fairburn, Georgia, where I attended Creekside High School. And so I'm here today to just talk a little bit about running for city council for the city of Fairburn and what got me involved, what motivated me to pursue politics and civil service. And just we have the chat line open, so any questions that you have, feel free to fire them away. Um, but again, like I said, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Creekside High School here in Fairburn, Georgia. And for me, what Creekside represented is it's a fresh start. It's a fresh start. I was actually at McNair Middle School in College Park, Georgia, and I was having some issues. My grades weren't going too great. I was kind of hanging around with the wrong crowd, and I was zoned to go from McNair Middle School to Banneker High School, which is in College Park. And so I was going to be leaving one situation, going to a new situation with pretty much the same guys. And so that my mom was concerned about that because she knew that I could do better and she wanted me to refocus. And so we had an opportunity to go to Creekside High School. And for me, that was just a fresh start that I needed to really participate in varsity sports. I had fantastic grades, even was able to be in some honors classes, but it was just a great foundation for me. And so from Creekside High School, I was able to leave and go to Payne College in Augusta, Georgia, historically black college. And that's where I really started to get involved in my community. It's just something special about an HBCU where they don't allow you to just be a student and just worry about yourself. Everything about an HBCU is pushing collaboration with your peers, with even with your professors, your dean of students, like everybody is working together, and also we're actively working in the community. And so that's what sparked me into working in the community. We did all sorts of things from we did blood drives, we would do voter drives, we would go to the Boys and Girls Clubs. We would do just any and everything that we can do in the community to just bring awareness to different issues and then also to recruit kids to come to college. We just wanted the kids to understand that, like, there is opportunity after high school, and we wanted them to see higher education as a way to go. And so um, I was also able to join Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and a lot of my frat brothers are also politically inclined, and they pour into you, and they also help you with the business of understanding how to do the meetings and Robert's Rules of Order and all of those things. And so I know a lot of people look at fraternities like just about dancing and twirling the cane and all of that stuff, which it is a part of that. But it's so much bigger. The fraternity is really like a well-oiled machine. It's like a business. And so we focused a lot on the business of the fraternity and also just making sure that guys had the things that they needed to be successful on the next level. Our thing is achievement in every field of human endeavor. And so whatever we put our hands on, we try our best to succeed. And so that was also a great foundation for me. Many of my professors I'm still in contact with. It was a different experience. HBCU is so unique. I know one time I had this class that was at 9 a.m. and most people will tell you, don't sign up for early morning classes because, those are the ones that people miss the most. And so I had a late night and I was missing my 9 a.m. class. And my professor actually called my phone and told me, you still have time, get to class because we're not going to have this conversation without you. And so I got up, I ran from my dorm, ran to class, and participated in the class. And so I have a special place in my heart for Payne College. My professors there, but that was my experience. It's just, I love the close-knit community aspect. I love just being able to have small class sizes where you're not just a number. The teachers actually know your name, know what you're about, know your perspectives, and they're always encouraging you. And so I always felt like, with my teachers, I always felt like, I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to disappoint them. And so I think that was a part that helped, kind of shape me into the person that I am today. Um, but fast forward, I got married to a young lady that I met. She was actually living in Fairburn, Georgia when we met. Kimya Trotter. We'll be celebrating 18 years of marriage in February. And so um, we got married. We now have three children, and we are living in Fairburn, Georgia. So the same place that she went to middle school, where I went to high school. We are now raising three kids, and so it's really, I can't even express in words how important it is for me to give back to the community that's just given me so much. Like I said, I can trace back pretty much so many things, so many foundational things, so many pivotal things that have happened in my life. I can trace them back to Fairburn, Georgia, and Creekside High School, and that community that really poured into me. And so I just feel like it's time for me to pour back into them. Um, Additionally, I want to say that I have to give a shout out to my mom. I don't believe that I would even know the importance of service outside of my mom. My mom, she was a manager at a polling precinct for over 20 years. And so that was something that she instilled in us. On those days when there was an election, we would get up about 4:30, somewhere in there, pack up our snacks and stuff for the day, make sure that we had all the things that we needed for the election that day. And we would report to our polling precinct, which for many years it was South Atlanta High School, which is off of Jonesboro Road, not too far from Cleveland Avenue. And so those were some interesting days. They were long days for sure. Some long days because I think the election would start around 7 a.m. and we would run to 7 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. And, we're there before setting up, we're there after breaking down, and the county expected us to turn in our accounts and everything within a certain time frame. And so those are some of the most some of my fondest memories from childhood is just being there in the polling precinct with my mom, with my brothers, with my sister, and just facilitating the election. So people would come in, we would greet them, tell them which way to go, and make sure everything was operational. And so it was just a really fun experience. And, of course, if there was a runoff, we'd be right back doing it again. But that was something that I didn't realize it at the time. But once I signed up to put my name in the hat for city council, I became really reflective. And, I'm realizing that that's a big part of who I am and where this comes from is that my mom instilled in me the importance of being involved. She never missed an election. Her parents never missed an election. They they would pull up sometimes and come see us, and they would go and cast their votes. And so I feel like I just come from a family that has always respected voting and making your voice heard. And so And I just want to say thank you to my mom, and also thank you to my wife, who's been ultra supportive. Anybody who's ever run a campaign, you will learn very quickly that it is a full family commitment. And so, without my wife's support, I just wouldn't be able to do this. And so, I'm just grateful to have a team around me to support me and push me to be the best person that I can be for my community. Um, so, so what got me involved in this? In short, I would say it's just in time. It's time. Um, I want to give back. I want to help the community. I'll tell you one interesting thing about me is that I am a real estate agent. I've been working in real estate for the last 12 years. And so I've built up quite a nice collection of clients, and I've worked with a number of home builders, and so I am an advocate on a daily basis for people who are looking to acquire a home or sell a home. And so I get to go to bat daily, making sure that they're not blindsided by anything, that I'm going through their contracts. I'm making sure that, they're protected. I'm also making sure that their homes are up to standard and things of that sort. And so I've had the unique honor of working within the Fairburn community. I think last I counted, it's 48 houses here in Fairburn, Georgia. And so I look at it like, when you go through that process with someone from beginning to end, of someone coming in and telling you, what they're looking for and what they want to achieve. Um, I take that on as a goal for myself. It's like, whatever your goal is, it's my goal, and we're going to lock arms and we're going to do this together. And whatever your concerns are, I'm going to share your concerns, and we're going to handle these concerns together. Or you sit back, let me get this one, and I'll let you know how it goes. And usually that's the way to handle it. But in that process, for anybody who's ever bought a home, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That process is it's an emotional roller coaster. I mean, there are ups, there are downs, there are days when everything can be going great, and then all of a sudden you get an email and everything's going awry. But ultimately, in the end, there's huge celebration. There's joy on the back end of it because it's all worth it when you get keys to your brand new home. And so I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of families that are right here, not only in Fairburn, but also families that are right in the community in which I live. Some of the people that I've sold houses to, we're on the street together. And so we do life together. Yeah, there we don't have Mr. Chaz or Mrs. Dyra. Is Uncle Chaz and Auntie Dyra and Uncle Greg and all of the people in our community who are actively involved in my life and the life of my kids. And so I value that greatly because when I sold them the houses, I was telling them how great Fairburn was, and how awesome the schools are, and where it's like this nice hidden gem, and you can get more bang for your buck, and you're not too far away from things. We're close to the airport. We're 20 miles from downtown. But we do have some really great features, and the biggest of them all is the people. The people of Fairburn are just amazing people. We have this really cool small town charm that you can't fake. We have residents who have been, second, third generation, here in Fairburn. And so, when we go places within the city limits, most times you're not even, just meeting a stranger, you're calling them out by their first name. When I go to my favorite barbecue restaurant, they know me by name as soon as I walk in, and it's not just me; it's the other people who are coming in behind me as well. Most times, they already know what I'm about to order because I kind of systematic like that. I do the same things over and over again. But it's really cool, going to the full service gas station, one of the oldest one of the few full service gas stations in the state of Georgia is right here in Fairburn, and I frequent that gas station. And I get out and I talk to the owner, and we talk about the different things that's going on in the city. When I go to grab food from Lady Fannie Mae's, who's also running for city council for a city council seat. She has a beautiful restaurant, home cooked food, Oz Pizza. I mean, everything that we have within our city limits is like is we know each other. We frequent the businesses here, and everybody's kind of interconnected. And so I love that. I love that. But I also see that our city is primed for growth as well. And so one of the things that I want to bring to the table is just a plan for smart growth because being the nature of my work, I specialize in community building and I know what beautiful community looks like. I know what things people are concerned about, safety, convenience, um, education, and I understand those things. And the beauty in the work that I do is I work all over the city of Atlanta. And so I get to see these different elements and say, I like this. I like this a lot. I would love to bring this back to Fairburn, to my hometown, so that my kids can enjoy some of the same stuff. And so, anytime you're dealing with a city that is like a historical city that has so much charm and so much character, you don't want to mess that up. And so, smart growth is very important to me, because I want to make sure we're not just bringing in any business. We're not just bringing in more warehouses and more like a lot of the surrounding cities are dealing with more data centers. We want the businesses that are just right for the citizens of Fairburn to benefit. It'd be great to have places that come in and can employ people here. We are in, I would say, desperate need of our own grocery store. We're pretty, Fairburn is pretty landlocked, and so we don't have a ton of space to build, but we do have space. And so that is one of the things is that we want to make sure that the things that you do frequently, we want to be able to spend those same dollars in our own community. And so when it comes to my platform, I have big ideas. I have huge ideas. I can be a dreamer, but I feel like the vision that I have for Fairburn is a beautiful vision, and it comes from building around what we already have, keep maintaining that, but just enhancing it. And so, yes, I have a vision for us to bring more businesses. We need more sit-down restaurants. We need more places for families. And so I see it firsthand because I have a family. I have a 3-year-old son, a 7-year-old daughter, who's my campaign manager. I have a 13-year-old daughter. And so when we go out as a family, we would love to just be able to do everything right in Fairburn. And it's just, there are some opportunities there, but we're very limited. And so what we want to do, or what I would like to do as a part of council is to help attract more businesses to Fairburn. I know the things that the builders look for when they look at cities to come into. I also am familiar with what businesses look for and how many residents they look for before they put their name on a location. And I feel like the potential is here in Fairburn to attract some great businesses. We also would like to see more around the airport, as far as people going to the airport. And coming to Fairburn to lodge. So we have hotels. We have some great hotels here. But while they're lodging here, we also want them to be able to do recreational activities like walking trails and restaurants and shopping and all of those things. It would be fantastic to have those things right in Fairburn, and show them a great time. but you know, let them go on back home. And so I feel like that's where the real growth happens is when you have a city that's attractive for people to come and spend money and contribute and then leave. And so, so I would love to see that for Fairburn as well. Um, I would say that my biggest goal for Fairburn is to invest more into the educational system. um, as a city council person, you're really limited on how you can get into the schools and impact the schools, but there is opportunity there. So you may not have any authority, but you do have influence. And so when I think of some of the things that encouraged me to read at a young age, we used to have like this program through Pizza Hut called Book It. And it wasn't nothing but that if you read a book and or read so many books and did a book report and your teacher signed off on it, then they would be able to give you like a coupon for a free pizza. And I just feel like at that time, and all of us were reading books. We were all reading books because we wanted to get to that piece, and it's probably the best piece I ever had in my life. But I just feel like we should come up with more ways as a city to not take over the schools, but just to come alongside of them and to help them achieve their goals because this is a shared goal. Everybody wants to see the literacy rates improve, and so we got to start early. Like Frederick Douglass said, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And so we want to start early, getting in with the literacy, giving them a love for reading. Um, we want to look into before and after care, before and after programs. Um, I have, like I said, even with my own kids, um, my wife and I still find ourselves looking for more resources to help keep them challenged and help expand their minds. And so we've done Kumon, which is a tutoring program, and we've seen great results. But it would be awesome to be able to have similar programs closer to home where people don't have to spend so much money. And so those are some of the things that I think about as a father, as a resident, and also a person who's looking to be an advocate for every person in Fairburn is how can we help, from a city standpoint, what things can we do to help our schools achieve their goals? Um, my first job out of college was actually in banking. And so I was hired on by Wachovia Bank. Wachovia Bank in College Park, Georgia, on Old National. That was my branch, and I was a small business, or not a small business banker, but a personal banker. I eventually became a small business, but personal banker there, and everything there was relationship based and um, pretty. It was a tight knit community there as well, where everybody that came in, you knew all the customers' names and how's all of the family and how's your wife doing, how's the dog. It was a great branch to be a part of, and I worked with some awesome people that were willing to take a young guy straight out of college and kind of put him under their wing. And I learned a lot there. I learned a lot, and some of the things that I learned through banking along with some of the things that I learned in college, um, it led me to want to give this information to kids before they went to college. And so um, I started a financial literacy program. It's called First Step Financial Empowerment Program. And what I did was basically put together a curriculum of all of the things that I felt like I wish I knew when I went to college. On the top of that list was, of course, student loans, kind of understanding what I was signing up for. Now, I did know that I was going to have to pay for it. That's for sure. I understood that. But the interest on it and the terms and those kind of things were things that nobody really talked to me about. And so, me being eager to get into college, when they slapped something in front of me and said, "Hey, here's some money for you," I just signed. And so, that. that was one of the things that we would talk about. We would also discuss credit. So I would get a chance to talk to high school age kids. I try to catch them around eighth grade because that's when they're starting to really kind of put things together. And I would talk to them about, understanding credit scores and understanding how it can make life easier for you if you protect your credit score and how it can present challenges for you if you do not. Um, and so that was always a fun conversation. I remember like some of the classes that we did that were weekend classes where, shout out to DeKalb County Police. They had the PAL program, Police Athletic League. And so we had classes where sometimes the parents would come and as I'm talking to the kids, you can kind of see the parents in the back, like, oh yeah, and there's certain things that we just don't get in school, but we use them every single day. And so I think that's one of those unique challenges of the school system is they're trying to make sure that you have everything that you need, but it's just so much stuff that they're trying to fit into this little shell of time that they have. And so, we learn, when we're in high school, we learn things like the periodic table and stuff like that. And I would always say, man, I wake up every day and I just don't have an opportunity to use the periodic table. But every single day I wake up, I need to know where my money is, where my money's going. I need to know, what bills I have, what I have to pay for, what my credit score is, all of those important things that we don't get a chance to really discuss in school. And so, just looking at again, putting my name in the hat to run for city council for Fairburn, I think about programs like that. Like, how can the city from their level say, hey, we want to have, help host a seminar or have, we want to pay somebody to come out and speak and sometimes people do this stuff for free. They just want an opportunity to sell their books, so we're going to set this up for you. Or, during the summer, we have a week, where we focus on these things. And at the end of the week, if you graduate, whatever, you get a certificate or something. But I just feel like the best thing for us to do as a community is to invest in our future. And the children are our future, and we have to be mindful of that. And, just kind of from whatever our vantage point is or whatever our opportunity space is, for me, I'm looking at city council and saying, okay, what can we do to support these schools to make sure that we're giving our kids the best possible chance? Because we don't want our kids to live here and have to seek school somewhere else, or we don't want our kids to live here and have to go somewhere else to get tutored. We want our kids to live here and grow here and thrive here, because the stronger the school system, the stronger the community as well. As a real estate agent, I'll tell you, sometimes the conversation ends before you can get it going good. Some people are like, hey, how are the schools? And if that answer doesn't match up to what they're looking for, they're out. And so I'm one of those people too, where I look at the value of education. I'm like, okay, we have to make sure that we have good schools for our kids to give them the best possible shot to scholarship, to get that higher level education. And so schools are extremely important. And so we have to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help our schools achieve their goals, and so that we can all achieve our goals as well. Um, so for me, smart growth is huge. For us, is attracting the right businesses, investing in our future is extremely important to me. And I would say, I think, when it comes to what's important right now, from what I see from just attending council meetings and just being involved, is I feel like, we need to get back to just looking at people for people. And, politics aside, let's just focus on the people part of this, which is the main reason why we're here. And so, one of my platforms is People Over Politics. I think we'll have things that we all can agree on, and we're going to have some things that we're going to disagree on. But the goal is to, at the end of the day, do what's best for all of the citizens of Fairburn. Um, And so with that, you have to look at what's the greater good. And so we're not going to, my goal is to not get hung up on small issues and spend too much time arguing back and forth. I would look for opportunities that we all can agree on and don't and respond quickly. We don't want to hesitate on the things that we agree on. Sometimes I think we get too hung up on the things that we disagree on. And so I feel like there are some key components there, especially when it comes to the budget that we all can agree on. I know that every single council person that I've spoken with is concerned about utilities. Everybody wants to see something happen with utilities, and it's a tall order. Um, but something has to be done. We don't have a choice. We got to figure it out. And so I know, for myself, I had a $500 water bill once, and that was interesting. I went through the house, changing stoppers on the back of the toilets and everything because I was convinced I've had a bad leak somewhere, and I had the city come out to check and see if I had a leak, coming from the street or something. But no, that was just the bill. And so when I saw that and I talked to some of my neighbors, they also had higher bills, not just water, but also power bills have gone up significantly. And this isn't just a unique to Fairburn situation. So let me be clear on that. This is something that a lot of people are dealing with across the country. But I feel like there are opportunities for us to be more transparent with what's happening. And so there are infrastructure opportunities that are there. I believe as a person that works in negotiations, I believe that there's space to have negotiations as well to try to bring prices down, make things a little bit more affordable for the average family. Um, and I also feel like people don't fully know how those numbers are calculated. And so I think, just the transparency and even just the forward thinking to be proactive about teaching people how to understand how their bills are calculated. Because for a lot of people, if they knew exactly how it was calculated, they probably would move differently. I think there's nothing worse than getting to the end of the month, getting the bill and being surprised. Like I feel like there shouldn't be a surprise if everybody is aware of how these things are calculated. And so with that, it does call for us to have accurate reporting. And so the equipment that we're using probably needs to be up to standard. Um, we probably have some things that need to be replaced or upgraded. And like I said, there's infrastructure things that need to be done. But a person should be able to go out, look at their meter, and have an idea of what they're doing on a daily basis. And so that is something that I am extremely motivated by because that's something that I know every single person is having to deal with, at least in Fairburn. And so we want to try to put our heads together and figure out a way to tackle that utility issue. I also believe that as our city grows, as we bring more businesses in, we're bringing more residences in. We have townhomes going up. We have single family communities going up. I feel like that taxes is probably, I think there's opportunity and potential there for a rollback. I know that when new residences come, they have fees that they have to pay in order to be a part of the community. So there's things that are caused by that they call impact fees. They're things that they have to they cause more traffic, or they may because of the new development, it requires more safety features and or more officers or whatever the case may be. But there's a contribution that's made when new developments come. And so I would love to take a look at that and make sure that those are where they should be. Make sure that everybody is contributing their fair share. I also would love to see, kind of get a peek behind the curtain to see what the businesses are contributing as far as tax dollars, because to me, it just doesn't make sense if we have so many more people coming. And I know with that, there are things that we need to pay for because of the growth, but because more people are contributing to the pot, to me, I just want to understand, why is everybody's number going up? I feel like we probably need to revisit that and see if there's an opportunity to roll back, especially for our seniors and people who have been here, a part of this, part of this community for 30 plus years. And I want to again, take my hat off to the city of Fairburn. Um, Fairburn has done a good job with a lot of things. I love my community. I think they've done a fantastic job, but I feel like there's potential there that we haven't tapped into, and it's time to take things to the next level. And that's why I'm running. But Fairburn has done a great job of keeping our millage rate low for a number of years. However, everybody's valuations hopped up so fast that a lot of people were just shocked at the tax amount at the end of the year. And so I just want to kind of look at it with fresh eyes and try to figure out ways that we can scale that back to bring a little bit more affordability to the families, especially the ones that have been here the longest. Want to make sure that those families are taken care of, because I know if I'm feeling it, I can only imagine what someone on a fixed income is feeling. And so we want to be careful of that. We want to make sure that we're looking out for the best interests of our most vulnerable. But I think when it comes down to running for city council, there's so many things that I bring to the table as far as ideas, and I think that is a strong suit for me. But one of the things that I can tell from attending the meetings and just kind of being in the loop is that a majority of what you have to deal with is unforeseen. And so there are things that are going to hit your desk that need quick decisions on, and you have to be ready to step in and view it through that lens of what is absolutely best for the people of Fairburn and make that decision. And that's something that I think it is a great responsibility, um, and it's one that I welcome. I think at the end of the day, when you look at how you want to lead as a servant. You want to make sure that you never lose sight of the people that you are here to take care of. You also want to act justly, or you want to act with fairness and keep fairness in mind when you're making decisions. And I also think that we are, as a country, I think we could all use a little bit more compassion and concern for others. And so those are things that I also value. It's not just about my platform and my big ideas. It's also about um, being fair, being just, um, being compassionate, being concerned for others, and leading with humility and understanding that leadership is not just it's not a status, it's a service. And so those are things that I greatly value. And I feel like this is a great time um, for fresh leadership to come in. I feel like the people who have ran Fairburn have done a great job, but I do feel like it's time to pass that baton so that we can take it to the next level. Um, and I'll just end with this because I feel like I've just been going on for a long time. But um, I would love to see as many people as possible go out for early voting, regardless of who you're voting for. I desperately want your vote. I feel like I'm the man for the job, but early voting is just such a convenient, easy way to let your voice be heard. And so tomorrow for us is the start of early voting. I know tomorrow starts early voting for a lot of other cities around the metropolitan area. Please, please, please take advantage of early voting. Take advantage. You can usually go at your own time frame is flexible, so it's not as many people. So please take advantage of early voting. Also, I would like to encourage everyone to consider people that may have a challenge getting to the polls. And so reach out to your seniors in your family. Also reach out to your seniors in your community and just check in with them. Hey, are you okay with voting? Do you have a ride? Are you good getting there? Just check in because you never know. What person may want to vote but just doesn't have a way to do it. And so we want to be considerate of those, that are more vulnerable, I would say. But please take advantage of early voting. Please, for all of the candidates, including myself, please take the time to go to the candidates' websites. Thank God for social media. Thank God for websites. It gives you a chance to kind of get a peek into what that person is about. My website is Trotter for Fairburn, which is Trotter, Trotter, the number four, and then Fairburn.com. That's my website. That is where I have my platform information. I have everything about me, what I want to accomplish here as a leader here in Fairburn. I also have links there where if you would like a yard sign, if you want to come and volunteer, there's opportunities to do that there on the website as well, and then also to contribute to the campaign. And so we've had a great start to our campaign. Again, shouts out to my family, my friends. Most of our stuff has been grassroots. And so thank you to everybody that has contributed to my campaign. Thank you to everyone that has supported me, given encouraging words, people who are praying for me. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. We got 3 more weeks to go. So this is going to be a fun 3 weeks, but it's going to be filled with work. And we want to get this message out to as many people as possible. So again, I would just like to ask for anybody that's watching this, please take time to go to the website, trotter4fairburn.com, and, just check it out, see what you think. If you're in the Fairburn area, I'm very accessible. My email is also in there. And so you can email me questions, concerns, and things of that sort. And I'm more than happy to hear them. This process I'm by myself, but so I'm doing a lot of talking, but uh, 90% of the time throughout this process, I've just been listening and trying to get a gauge on what's important to the people of Fairburn. And that's what I want to execute on if selected to be your next city councilman. So, again, thank you all for the opportunity. I want to thank WCEG for sharing their platform with a kid from Fairburn. This has been great. And I look forward to having more conversations in the future. Vote Trotter for Fairburn. Signing off.